So, hi everybody once again. Let us introduce ourselves. My name is Natalie and I am one of the English teachers at Moscow Art School. And I am welcoming you for the third conference of our international project, which is called Modern, Modernism, Postmodernism and Metamodernism this year. And can you just couple words about each of you? Can you just say something? I think I will begin with Anna Maria.
Yes, okay. I've already told you that my students have not had time to work in this field because they're already engaged in other projects. Anyway, they don't want to give up, and I can see that some of them are here now. So we could ask one of them, Gaia, would you like to speak about the topic, today's topic?
Hi, I'm here. I don't know, since we're still working on this project because we're only starting it like right now or in this couple of months, we have some difficulties, but I believe it's a very interesting topic, like the one that speaks of classics in a new way. For example, when you mentioned the Terminator movies, I watched like all of them, and I can understand there are many differences between the first version and maybe the ones that were made in the 2000s. And
I don't remember it actually.
Gaia, where are you?
No, I'm still here. Like I watched them like 2 years ago. I don't remember them clearly, but
okay.
I've seen them all except for the sixth one because everybody said that it was terrible, so I didn't watch it. But of course, like the first movie maybe is more of a classic. It's more something that it's like a classic robot movie. Like maybe the other ones are more focused on the apocalypse, maybe. So the topic is a little bit different.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Anna Maria, are there any more students of yours here apart from Gaia?
I can ask.
I'm here.
Okay, Flora.
Hi, my name is Flora.
Okay, what can you say about this topic, about the use of the classics, the remake? What do you think about the remake?
I can say that I saw just one film about Terminator, and I really like that kind of things, that kind of stuff, and that's kind of my generally really. I really like it. But I think that today we're here to listen to all of you because this is a very interesting project because I never worked with anything like this before. So today we're here to listen, and we're going to be here the next time, and we're going to talk too. We're going to be prepared.
Okay.
There was also one of our friends who has seen the Sherlock TV series, and she was very prepared about it, but she couldn't join the meeting. So we're sorry for this inconvenience, but we hope to have her maybe in the next time.
Yeah, to have her back next time.
No problem at all. I will share all the stuff, all the information, and of course the video, so you will be able to watch what our experts have to say about some of the questions that you will have to guess first. Okay, so I can see Emma here. Can you introduce yourself? Can you say a couple of words about you, a couple of words about project?
Hi, my name is Emma. I go to the Liceo Artistico Selvatico in Padua. We're in the painting class, and for this project we are doing some variation of I don't know the name of the painting in English, so if the teacher can help me, La colazione sull'erba, prof. It's a paint of Manet, the one with the two men and the naked girl that are doing breakfast on the grass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably the
It's
breakfast on
called
the grass.
breakfast on the grass.
Oh, okay.
The breakfast on the grass.
And basically, we are doing some variation of this painting in a modern and postmodern, and metamodern, I think, way.
Do you have any
We
pictures or sketches so far? No?
I actually don't have any pictures of mine because I'm in quarantine right now. I'm not going to school, and so are my classmates. So I don't know if they have any of theirs. I'm doing a print on linoleum of the painting, and I actually am using lots of techniques. I'm doing the printing, and there are some collage and acrylics. It's a whole mess. It will have sense when I finish it.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, but we are having lots of fun with this project. We are trying to be really creative and modern. And yeah, I don't know if anyone else wants to speak.
Yeah, Lera actually has prepared a small presentation on what she has to do. She has to do during artistic project, and probably that will serve as a kind of a motivation for everybody to join in an art project as well, because we are trying to merge English, history of art, and arts together in this project. Okay. So, Lera, I'm going to switch on your presentation. You will tell a little bit about what you are doing, and then I'm giving a couple of words to some other students as well. Okay, good. So I need to share my screen with you. Okay. Sorry, it's a little bit slow when I'm switching on the joining the screen. Oh my God. Sorry. 1 second, Lera. Okay, let's just press the wrong button. Okay, okay, that's it. So can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm switching on the slideshow from the very beginning. So Lera, will you please just comment on? Yeah, it's only a couple of minutes. So what you were pondering on when you were working with accent?
Yeah, so I want to tell you something about my project, but I can't see the slide through. There is some problem.
Okay, Lera, is this the first slide?
Yeah, but I can't see the slideshow.
Oh, I don't know. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm just switching on. Okay, so probably it's just being slow. Yeah. Okay, so can you guys see the first slide with exit signs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but it's actually animated, so maybe.
Oh.
Okay,
Yeah.
just Lera, will you just tell us a little bit?
Okay,
I will just switch on. Okay.
Okay. So this is my project, and it's a series of photos. And what is it about? Actually, I simply take some photos with entrances, exits, and so on during my way to school and home. And what's the idea of that one? I believe that there is a way out of every situation. It's like my feelings and my philosophy is that idea is really close to me. So I think I need to give you some of language reference because there is a word in Russia that means an exit and a way out of the situation at once. And that word is written on this signs.
Yeah.
The first photo is from Russian metro, and there is two signs with exits pointing in opposite sides. Yeah, and I think it's really interesting and creative sometimes to look at the infographics with some philosophical background. Yeah, so I think it's really funny that this guys and the signs and the infographic just running in the opposite sides. Yeah, you can next slide. Point in the next photograph. The next one is from our school, and there is also a really funny situation with our school because there are lots of tableaus and signs with exits and entrances, and that sometimes it confused the new students, so they just can't find the way to classes. And that one is from our second floor, I think. Yeah, that is printed through the stencil and pointing to the right. And if you look at it more clearly, you can see two exits, and that's my favorite thing because just like you can find two or more ways out of any situation. I can't see the third one, but yeah, but on that photo there is an entrance and an exit pointing also at the opposite sides. It's also from our school. On the first photograph there are two exits, also two exits, and yeah, and the same philosophy on it. And in the fifth picture, there is also Russian metro, and there is a sign with no exit. It's a bit depressive, but also you can see that people, it just doesn't stop people. Yeah, so it's like more optimistic, and that's something about my project. I also in the future I want to make more photos and put it on some in some enclosed place to let people find their own way from it.
That's a very interesting one, right? Yeah, and it's kinetic. Absolutely. Yeah, that's absolutely. Okay, so thank you very much. So that is how your project is going. You find some references, right?
Yeah.
So anybody else who wants to share probably some oral references? Come on, guys, don't be shy. Oh, so is that all right? Okay, so now I want Anna. Anna, can you introduce yourself? Anna, hi.
Yeah.
Just say something about you. Just, I want to give word to everyone. Yeah, it's just everyone to be able to speak a little bit about himself and how their project is going, probably their motivation behind it. Just a couple of sentences, not more. So Anna, are you here with us? Tell me where you're from. Yeah, probably it's your first time. We can't hear you. Will you please switch on your microphone? Ah, yeah.
Now?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I'm Anna, and I came from Padua, from the Pietro Salvatico Liceo and school, sorry. And so I do the same project of Emma, but I'm not started. I don't know, but
So
my project is not started. Yes, but I have some ideas, and I want to create a picture, not with the linoleum like Emma, but a picture to criticize the materialism of the society. Yes, so.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so guys, who else wants to speak? So some of the students who, Mara, have you spoken? Mara, hi.
Hi, I'm a teacher. I'm a colleague of Anna Maria. Yeah, I'm not a student. Then I'm teaching in Salerno, in Liceo Artistico Sabatini Menna, and I teach sculpture. Then I'm the artistic, creative part of the group with Anna Maria. And in this moment, my students are working on one of topic, because there is really a lot of topic and idea is very, there is a very big inspiration about this project. And my students are working in particular on the topic that we will talk in March about the anti-hero, not hero. Then they are drawing and sculpturing some ideas. Then we will then explain later to the group and share with you.
Yeah,
that's the idea. Then this is my first time here with you, maybe just one another time, but it was a little bit chaotic. Then it's fantastic to listen to everyone and really stay all together. Now in this moment that we can't travel, can't meet new people, then is a very fantastic. Then thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. I am sorry, like it's your first time. I thought you were a student as well. Okay, but that's fine, I guess, because I want teachers to speak up as well. So probably Luisa has joined us. Luisa is a teacher, I guess, and Carla. Yeah. So hi. Okay, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Luisa. I'm an art history teacher. So I work with my class. I'm from Padua and Liceo Artistico Selvatico. I introduced to my students the general topic. So we worked about modernism, postmodernism, and metamodernism. So I'm not aware what they are doing now. I saw some sketches, and I saw they are thinking a lot of a beautiful project in picture, in painting, sorry, but I just wait. I'm just waiting for what they are going to do, and so I'm here just listening what's going on.
Okay. It's just now I am asking how is your art project is going as a kind of a motivation, because our students meet up like every week. Masha, here as expert from Russia. Masha, can you tell us a little bit about the meetings that you have on the project? I think that our colleagues from Italy, from Padua, from Salerno, are very interested in what we are doing in our school, at our experience, that we also have some art teachers who do not speak English. That is why they do not join in. And we have only 2 teachers today who can speak perfect English, which is Nadine and Masha. So they can tell you a little bit more about how we meet up. Okay, Masha, will you?
Okay, yeah, first of all, my English is not that perfect, but I'll try to sum it up. My name is Masha. I'm art history teacher at Moscow School. I'm not an artist, so I can't do with my hands anything, but I usually go to these meetings about the art part of our project. So I've seen something that our guys are doing already. We actually did it in this way. We met once in December before the holidays, and we discussed the topic of the whole project. And then the guys, they went for holidays, so we had really long holidays this year. And now we're meeting like every week to discuss what is our progress. I've seen some of the works by the kids. I've seen, for example, what Veronica is doing. I've also seen some other works. It's pretty cool, I should say, because it's really very creative. The head of our artistic project, he said that we're doing everything we want, except that we don't use classic media. So there will be no paintings like oil on canvas or something like that. And that's what we are doing right now. I just don't want to spoiler about what they are doing, because I'm not sure they are going to do just the same things they're doing right now. But actually what I've seen was really, really cool. I liked it. So I would really want to see the next meeting, some of your works, really, because it's really very interesting how we think about it, how we go in different directions, and what are we going to get when we're going to finish with this. So.
Okay, and probably a couple words by Nadine. You are a project teacher. It's different from painting. It's design. It's something really different from what we are thinking like the painting is. Yeah, so can you just share some of the ideas that your students have come up? Probably no spoilers, please.
Well, yeah, I could add to what Masha just said, that the object itself, the theme, is so vast, as actually Mara also noticed. So almost any project could be put somehow in the stream of this theme. And that is why we can also use different media and different materials. And I can say that we already see the forming of some of the students' work in the meaning of the final interpretation and presentation. So some of them might be using like some space, or some of them are using photography. Some of them may be using sculpture as the matter by which they will present their ideas. As you've seen, Lara has chosen some photographic images, which she probably will use in some labyrinth for interactive exhibition. So the form itself is also very interesting for postmodernism and metamodernism, which is known to evoke some emotions from the spectator. So in that sense, their works are beginning to form very interesting. But as Masha mentioned, we only had like 2 meetings. First was just initial ideas. Some of them changed completely by the second meeting. So we are also in the progress of doing them. And I think today we will only listen to those who are present and will not talk about the absent people. So I think we give the word to the students themselves.
Yeah, thank you very much. Anyway, Aurora, can you please tell me a couple of words about you, and I will skip to Veronica then, and whoever else has not spoken. Okay, Aurora, how
can you hear me?
Mm-hmm, yes.
Hi, I go to the same school as Emma and Anna, and for my project, I took inspiration from pop art, more specifically Andy Warhol. So I made some copies of the same artwork, but changing something. There's the man pointing his finger at the naked girl, but in his hand, he's holding different objects like a balloon or a gun, I don't know, like Andy Warhol did.
Okay, so you're using it as an inspiration.
Yeah.
Okay, so some of the students who, okay, Veronica, you haven't spoken yet. Can you tell us just a little bit about you? Veronica, hi, how are you? And about your project, how it is going?
Hello.
Hi.
I was checking Is there some more Veronicas here?
No.
No. I have to speak.
No student Veronicas.
Well, about me and my project.
Yeah, about just a couple of words about yourself and how the project is going.
Well, my project is in progress. I'm doing it in Photoshop. It is a Babel Tower of Art. It is the name of it. And probably when I'll do a bit more, when it will look a bit more finished, I'll show you.
Okay, no spoilers so far. Okay, so guys, has everybody spoken just a little bit?
Okay, can I say something?
Yes,
yes, because I'm sorry, I'm just the curator of the project, and so I coordinate, but I don't teach, I personally don't teach the students, as Luisa is an expert of art, and is expert in history of art, and a well-known curator and reviewer. Curator of art exhibitions and reviewer, and here there aren't our art teachers, but the scheduled item for today was a Sherlock Holmes, so our students were not prepared to introduce their works. I can send you the drafts. They sent me their drafts and their paintings, so I can send you, but I'm sure it was something they were not prepared to talk about.
Okay, thank you very much. And let's skip to the best part, to the work that our students have prepared. So I suggest we begin with Camila. Camila, where are you? So can you say some words about you while I am sharing?
Okay. There was Vincenzo. I think you know Vincenzo, and now he doesn't teach in our school. So I decided to take part to this project. First of all, because I can speak Russian.
Oh, really?
That's why. First of all, yes, it was the main reason, of course, but it's the project itself is quite interesting. I hope that it can help us to think and discuss and widen our minds, comparing different points of view and different cultures, because Russian culture is quite different from Italian culture. So I think that it's a great opportunity, and that's why.
How come you speak Russian?
Да, я давно не говорю по-русски, но я могу говорить и понимаю русский язык.
Круто!
Absolutely, yeah, that's so nice. Yeah, that's so nice.
Molto bene!
Molto bene.
Okay.
In the hope that we can make this exchange, that you can come to Padua and we can
anytime.
Come to Moscow. We don't know when, but
yeah. Okay. Is that Camila? You ready?
Yes.
Okay. So now I'm going to share the screen of Camila's presentation. I'm sorry. Now I'm just okay. Can you see that? Is it on? Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
It is.
So Camila has a different vision of modern adaptations of the classics, and this is her view, and she's going to speak up herself before we start discussing Sherlock. Okay, so Camila, you're welcome.
Thank you. Hi guys, my name is Camila, and we are starting to talk about an anime adaptation. I think we found who love it. Is modern adaptation ruining the classics? next switch part, please.
Okay, Camila, speak up. Yeah, I'm switching. Okay.
Can you next part?
Okay, which one? Number 3?
Number 2.
Number 2. It's already on. It's already on.
No, it's not.
We can see it. Yeah,
No, it doesn't work. Same as with the previous Lara's presentation. Can you just switch them by hand? Maybe the slideshow doesn't work.
No, I am switching them by hands. Okay.
But we can see.
Okay. So like this, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this one, can you see?
Now, yes.
Okay, good. I don't know why it's not working, but okay, fine. So will you please, Camila?
Yes. The first, there are different kinds of anime adaptations. There are based on manga, for example, Shaman King. Runabout, it's a Japanese fantasy stories, novel, game, and others. We can see Edgar Allan Poe. It's a manga which based on classical detective. Castlevania based on game, and Crime and Punishment based on a classical story.
Is that Crime and Punishment?
Yes, of course.
Oh my God. Okay. So.
Next. The first thing we will start with this Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Mikhailovich Dostoevsky. Crime and Punishment is a world classical novel. The Japanese mangakas presented 2 variants of it. We can see. The live manga started in 1953 by Osamu Tezuka. In his work, the story ends with an uprising. The author make a new ending. He put his characters and he used own style. The right manga has super modern adaptation. The main character is Hikikomori, who lived in 21st century. And the graphic is so beautiful. I really love this.
Okay, next one.
Yes. So we can see the left is by Osamu Tezuka and the right is by the second.
Okay.
So we talk about the Shaman King. It's my first anime. It's a legendary. The story is about spirit, various pieces, and love. It has 2 adaptations too, by USA and by Japan. The American edition was released with a lot of censorship. The left by USA. Without death and blood. But thanks to this, the anime became a family with a rating of 30 plus. All the dialects and even the names were changed so that the European audience could better understand by ear. Okay. Many scenes of the story didn't now show why there were holes in the plot. And in the disclosure of the characters. The series ended before the manga, so the final remained open. The Japanese adaptation almost did not deparate from the original, but was not popular in the other countries. So, and in 2021, another Japanese adaptation was released. It was no longer mermaid and was produced almost without departing from the original plot. So the next, Aoi Bongaku. This is a 12-episode anime adaptation based on the classic Japanese novel by Edogawa Rampa, Osamu Dazai, Sakaguchi Anga, and others. I think this is a very convenient way to learn a little about Japanese classic, about the main works of Japanese culture. In addition, artists who painted this note, Bakuman and Bleach, worked on the pictures. Next, please. I especially recommend the series, The Torments of Hell. It tells the story of an artist deeply devoted to art. It's very, very beautiful story. Tragic, but so beautiful. In conclusion, I will say that an adaptation has its own worthy and not very special features. Move away from the original, adjust to a certain audience, introduce new details, and so on. The main thing is that the adaptation of the classic makes it even more eternal. It shows a new look at the familiar. Such quiet lists are very suitable for metamodern. Next. And thanks you for watching.
Very much. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
and I note that this picture is from an anime with Sherlock, but the main character is Moriarty. And all stories telling by Moriarty. Yeah.
That's
it's
an adaptation.
So interesting. Yes, it's like a new adaptation of Sherlock Holmes.
Thank you very much, Camilla. That was very interesting. I didn't even know that Crime and Punishment could be adapted by the Japanese in the style of manga. That's it's just, my head is blown. Okay, so maybe some experts can share some of their ideas on manga and Japanese adaptations.
I really love the idea that the manga interpretation would evoke people to maybe be more interested in the classic version, and they would know it in that way. I love that idea.
Yeah,
I love it actually.
Because from school, I'm thinking about Crime and Punishment. Oh, it was so boring to read. But if it were made, in a style,
it's true. It's so cool story.
Comic book or manga or something like I don't know, modern series, it would actually made me read that classical one and made me look at it from a different perspective. Though I'm not an artist, I'm not a history of art teacher, I am just a linguist. Okay.
Right now we have actually a musical in Moscow Musical Theater. You might go and watch it. It's also rather funny and with a new side on it.
So that's another interpretation. Okay, and now we can see that we are talking about postmodernism with our interpretations of different classic. So what I want to share is the presentation that we, the teachers, have made. Okay, so while it's loading, I'm sorry, it takes a little bit of time. I will ask some of the experts to say whether they can see the presentation. I will try to make a slideshow because this time it might work. Okay.
We see it.
Yeah, because I made it actually on Google Forms. So, okay.
Yeah, that's perfect. Full screen.
So, and now you are welcome to answer some of the questions because it's not just a presentation to share the information, it's kind of a quiz show. Yeah, so based on Sherlock Holmes, of course. So guys, first of all, I have a question to everybody, to teachers as well as students and experts. What's your favorite episode or story of Sherlock Holmes? Some glimpses, some insights. You're welcome, guys. Anybody?
Me who watched only one.
Okay, that's enough. Yeah, you have an idea.
I watched, I think, several. My favorite is Study in Pink.
The first one, when he first meets.
Venus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how many of you have watched it at all?
Me?
No, not you.
I watched it.
Yeah, guys, have you watched it? Have you seen?
Yeah, I can't remember the single episodes because I've watched it a long time ago, but I really like the episode where there was the girl, the woman, they called her. I don't remember her name at the moment, but I really liked when she was a character in the episodes.
Okay, I remember her. She was naked, something. Yeah.
Yeah, she tried to manipulate him. Yeah, he was really attracted by her. I really like the chemistry between the two of them.
Yeah, actually, it is a kind of a concept. I remember we spoke about that with Nadine, one of our experts, that Sherlock Holmes was not supposed to have any relationships.
Well, he actually didn't have a relationship with her, I suppose.
Yeah, it was a kind of a illusion.
Mental relationship, his favorite one.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody else's favorite episode? Mine is A Study in Pink. It's because it's the first time I admired, Benedict Cumberbatch as an actor. Yeah, and actually I know that they didn't choose. They only had one option. Only Benedict Cumberbatch was supposed to star in Sherlock Holmes' new series, BBC. Okay, so next one. There are many interpretations of the classics. For example, there's even a manga based on Sherlock Holmes, and I added some of the slides here. And if you want to read more, just let me know. I will share it anyway. And this one is a comic book for the second episode called The Blind Banker. Okay, you can see how it's stylized.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. And now my question is, and probably our experts will just help us a little bit for the students, we'll have to answer. Postmodern Sherlock uses something instead of something in original version. Can you think a little bit about that? Think of Conan Doyle's original Sherlock and this one, postmodern Cumberbatch's. So what does he use instead of what? Okay, some ideas. Actually, there's a kind of a hint in the manga on the slide. Did you read Conan Doyle's version?
Computer? I mean, it's on manga. I see it.
Yeah, instead of what originally?
I think that maybe instead of mail in the computer, he has a letter in the original version.
Yeah, and also there was a kind of a network of some guys, if you remember.
Yeah.
He had homeless people helping him.
Yeah. The new one and the old one are similar in this way, but the postmodern Sherlock uses a lot of texting. And you remember those slides with him, Benedict, texting, and the short text messages would just appear on screen as his thoughts. That was a kind of an invention for the film. And the old Sherlock, if I'm not mistaken, Nadine, yeah, it was you who told me that he used a lot of homeless beggars and guys, yeah?
Yeah, and children.
And children?
With children, yeah, boys. He had a lot of boys who came to his house, he gave them some money, and they found out things for him. Now he uses internet and hackers and that kind of stuff, more technological, which was not used, of course, because there were no computers in 19th or the beginning of 20th century. So yeah, they're just different means of the same procedure of his method.
Yeah, so it's like the same procedure, but just different instruments, different tools, and that's a sign. If I understand that right, that's a sign of postmodernism.
Well, yeah, kind of, because the new media, it's more broadened, of course, because the World Wide Web knows much more than he could find just on the streets, finding some mud or something like that before.
Even originally in Doyle's story, there was a kind of a cutting edge technologies, right? Even those guys, the poor boys who gave him news, that was a cutting edge technology at that time. And now the new Sherlock uses cutting edge technologies again. So he really didn't change, just the outsides changed a little bit. Okay, guys.
Yeah, I'd also add, as you said, about the presentation of his thinking, right? As modern people see the calendar or their thoughts being messaged like in a messenger, it's also another form of postmodern presentation of person's thoughts. And actually, we might think as emails and messages right now when we think about some information structured in some way. Same as some of us, maybe even, especially school guys, I suppose you might see the calendar as a, how do you call it? Not register, not diary. Well, the thing where you put your marks in, right? Well, at least we used to have the paper ones.
Yeah.
Till this time, I see my calendar week as this kind of structure. Like, so it's another way of presenting person's thoughts in terms of how people making the series showed it, not from Sherlock.
I want to show you just a little bit. I used to have a planner, and I wrote down all my thoughts or all the things I have to do during the week into my planner. And I noticed that how I picture my day is when I have some to-do list, and I picture my planner. And what about you guys? When you go to school now with all those technologies, how do you picture your day? Is it in a form of a paper book?
I put my things in notice book too, because for me it's so tactile,
palpable.
Yeah,
palpable, and I can drawing in it, draw my things, and it's not stressed with it.
Okay, artists are old school. Yeah, okay. Some other pictures, no? What do you picture?
Well, I used to have this kind of planner with my week schedule, but this year schedule has been changed too much, so
you forgot about it.
I have
yes
only in my head.
Oh, okay, so like a to-do list.
Like Sherlock Holms.
In my head, it's easier for me because I don't know, I remember like every subject that I have every single day, and the same applies for the homework, but I mostly check up on the planner, so it's easier for me to
on the planner
study.
I mean you mean the paper one?
Not only like a digital one, because I mostly work on digital technologies.
That's what we meant actually with Nadine, that you have a different picture of a planner, or a diary or a register. Like
I mean, both paper planners and digital ones are really cool for me, but I don't know, I find digital planners a lot more handy.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so
well, you know, the funny thing is that, for example, being a teacher, I show you, this is my diary, okay? But when I was younger, probably I was able to remember everything in my head. But obviously now I'm no longer able to do. And the funny thing is when I am in class and I ask my student, okay, take your diaries and write down homework. And they watch me, you know, as if I was something. diary teacher. Okay, write whenever you want. Okay, that's so funny because you realize how things are very quickly developing and changing. But paper remains paper for me.
Absolutely. Okay.
But it will not remind you of a meeting.
No.
Okay. So cool, guys. So that's a new thought, probably just to have a think, just think about it. Okay. And also I put some of the British English for you here. Sherlock uses a lot of great deal of informal language. And I picked some of the phrases which you might not understand while watching the film. And that's actually grab a pew, because it's not only an artistic project, it's also a linguistic project. And probably it will be interesting for you to find out about some British English phrases and collocations. So grab a pew. So pew is a kind of a wooden bench. Can you guess the meaning? Actually, you have it on a slide here. Yeah, you can see grab a pew. So can you guess the meaning?
I think it's kind of a way to say that you can easily sit down, like he's trying to be accommodating.
Actually, that's take your seat. Yeah, it's translated like grab is to.
Yeah, it's like take a seat or sit down.
Yeah.
But why does he say that to him? Can you guess? But for that, you need to know the meaning of the initial phrase, because it's a pun. It's a play of words in English. Well, it's a really hard one if you don't know. The initial phrase, I suppose no one's going to tell it. So it's grab a few, and which means you've already had some alcohol, like a few, I don't know, bottles of beer, for example. So he says grab a pew, meaning that you're already so drunk that you kind of need to stick to the bench to not fall on the floor because you're too drunk.
Yeah, okay. So they're using the phrase to say take a seat. And it's also a pun, as Nadine says. And I thought it would be nice if you shared some of the phrases in your native language. Like in Russian, we would just say, like, sit down, садись, падай. What else we would just say? I would suggest like something like fall down, yeah, translation. Okay, guys, what is this phrase in your native language, in Italian?
So in Italian, maybe like take a seat, we would just say like accomodati, so it's like get comfortable and take a seat, maybe, or just simply siediti, it's like sit down.
No, it's so like Russian.
In Italian.
No, I mean, it's so...
I don't know, it's really simple, so I really can't tell of any other crazy translation. I mean, it's the first one that I actually thought about.
Yeah, I can't think of any kind of really informal variant how to say sit down, apart from grab a pew, or would just literally be хватай стул, is like get hold of a chair, yeah, or get hold of a bunch, of a bench, sorry. Okay, no other variants. Okay, so super cool. Let's go on. So now we're going to talk about the differences between, you know that there are some adaptations of Sherlock as well. Yeah, so there are several Sherlocks, and the first two that came to my mind were Robert Downey Jr. and Benedict. So what are the differences?
My favorite is Soviet one.
Soviet, yeah, we're going to talk about that. Well, yeah, but first of all, which came to my mind, the new versions, yeah, which could be compared a little bit. Okay, so that's a trailer we're going to watch a little bit with Robert Downey Jr. And then we'll watch a different trailer and we'll try to see some differences. And I'm hoping it wouldn't, okay, wouldn't mess up. Sorry, it's been slow. Okay.
Someone I want to see. Sherlock Holmes. I are bound together on a journey that will twist the very fabric of nature. world as you know it. Well, there isn't any time to waste then, is there? It does make a considerable difference to me having someone with me on whom I can thoroughly rely. What's nice to see, Watson? Lord Blackwood.
The witness stated that he saw Lord Blackwood rise from the grave.
It's going to raise a force that will alter the course of the world.
He's just as brilliant as you are, and infinitely more devious.
We'll see about that.
Nice touch.
I'm simply studying your methods. Should the authorities ask me to hunt you down?
Holmes, leave the case alone.
Case for you, Victor. Save your bullets, Watson.
Saving bullets.
First point of attack, right here. 2, throat. 3, crack ribs. In summary, neutralized. You never complained about my methods before.
I never complained. When do I complain about you practicing the violin at 3 in the morning? Your general lack of hygiene or your experiment on my dog.
Still the dog. Again.
I wanted to change the world, but I'm separating yours.
I wish you would.
It's not in your face, it's in my hand.
Okay, what's in your hand out of my face?
They've been flirting like this for hours.
Are we in trouble?
Watson, you have the grand gift of silence. Makes you quite invaluable as a companion.
Okay, guys, is it being slow, the video?
It's like steps. There are like pauses in it. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry, but you had an idea, yeah, of how different Robert Downey Jr. was as a I mean, if you compare,
I just can't associate him with Sherlock Holmes.
Okay, or
know.
with an Iron Man. Okay, so now we're going to watch a trailer by, I'm sorry. Okay, почему? Oh my God. Okay, so that's BBC Sherlock Holmes. And I'm hoping that it will be loading a little bit faster. Okay, and after watching this trailer, you'll be able to tell the difference between them. Yeah, because personally, Robert Downey Jr.'s Sherlock Holmes was a little bit of a blockbuster film for me.
Yes.
So I can agree. Yeah, and I guess that you can tell the difference between them, who is the best Sherlock out of them two, right? Okay, come on. Okay, so it's only 42 seconds. Oh, come on.
Who are you? What do you do? What do you think? I'd say private detective, then the police are out of their depth. They can stop me. Got anything? This is hunting land, like here in the heart of the city. What am I thinking of? Because you're an idiot. This is my friend, John Watson. Friend, colleague. Hey, you get your kicks in and you risk your life to prove you're clever. Shut up. I'm telling you thinking. It's annoying. You like the funny cases, don't you? The surprising ones. Obviously. The game, Mrs. Hudson, is on. Time to play. Oh, I am. It's 221 B Baker Street.
Sherlock, Sunday at 9 on BBC.
Okay, so now you have an idea of how different they might be. Yeah, okay, so.
Who are you? What do you do?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay, the next slide. So guys, so now can you tell the difference between them? Can you say something, how different they are? So what can you say about Robert Downey Jr.'s Sherlock Holmes? Do you like him?
Like no.
I've seen so many times Robert Downey Jr. in those Marvel movies, and since I can only picture him in this kind of movies, which are more like action films, I imagine his Sherlock Holmes more like a badass one. I can really tell. It looks a lot more prone to action, maybe rather than Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, absolutely. And Watson is different, and Moriarty is different, absolutely different, right?
Oh yeah, they are. I mean, the Benedict Cumberbatch Sherlock Holmes is more picture on the investigation, maybe rather than the action itself, which is probably the most distinctive trait of the between the two actors.
Yeah, and if you have a look at Judd Law, he also is a very powerful actor as well. Yeah, so what I think is he's a more powerful Watson, right? Than in
Yeah, after all, it's corresponding to Robert Downey Jr. I mean, the more Sherlock Holmes is powerful as well is going to be Watson.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. So guys, anybody else?
I like Benedict's version better. I think that Benedict is better as a Sherlock than Robert Downey Jr. because he can make Sherlock more arrogant, confident, and he even looks more intelligent than Robert Downey Jr.'s version. I feel like that with Benedict, we feel way more stupid than with the Robert Downey Jr.'s version. The way he speaks, you can't understand what he's saying. If he talked in another way, just like with his voice, not the content of what he's saying, you would understand anything, but his voice makes you feel so stupid and not intelligent at all. I love this thing because I don't know, it's like he's the only one that understands what's happening.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Okay, I can't explain my... I'm sorry.
No, I only say that the Benedict Cumberbatch Sherlock Holmes actually looks very, very clever. Like I've always pictured him like this.
Clever.
Yeah, cleverer.
Yeah,
I am glad that Robert Downey Jr. doesn't hear us, what we are saying about his show.
Yeah, poor guy. I mean,
but it is a role. We're not talking about...
He still plays a good Iron Man. I mean, that's good for him.
Yeah,
I also think that Benedict is way better at showing the antisocial, mentally ill traits of Sherlock Holmes than Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, like Robert Downey Jr. is a kind of a, what's that called when the guy is a complete show off?
Show off.
A show off, yeah. So he's like a macho, right? Unlike Benedict Cumberbatch, who is playing more of a detective. Yeah, okay. And now guys...
Yeah, I think it depends of film director.
Absolutely, thank you, Veronica, because I actually have the same thoughts that that's not up to the actor. It's the matter of scenario and script and who will be playing. And also Robert Downey Jr., it's like his movie is more of that era, actually. And I mean, in both movies, there are a lot of action, and Sherlock was always participating not only in the mental games, but he was always in the middle of the dangerous stuff. That's why he knew martial arts and stuff, and he could actually be in a battle with a man. Just maybe, yes, a little bit. The Robert Downey's movie was made as a blockbuster. But I also liked his Sherlock in a way, and I wouldn't say that he showed any less like wisdom or cleverness in his things. And he also made other people, he lied to everyone and he pretended to be where he was not and stuff like that. So very intricate moves he made. And Sherlock was always a show-off, and Benedict is also a show-off. It's just some different way, which maybe is more likable and more close to the classic one.
And if nobody has some other ideas, I would like to share something very interesting. We Russians, we have our own adaptation of Sherlock, which is sometimes viewed as the best Sherlock. And I can't say that this is the best Sherlock, because tastes differ anyway. But our actor, a very popular one, and quite an old movie as well, Livanov, has played Sherlock. And some people say, also in Europe and in America, that he's supposed to be the best copy of the original, though I don't tend to believe him. But anyway, I will just show you a glimpse of this Livanov show. And there are no lines, so you will not have to speak Russian or understand Russian here, but you can watch the movie because it also goes with English subtitles and adapted as well and dubbed.
Translation?
Yeah, in English.
It's a pity because he has a beautiful voice for Sherlock also.
You can watch it with subtitles as well. Yeah, with English subtitles. So it's a very interesting version and it's very old. So the trailer is kind of, you can see that. Yeah. I am hoping it will not be too slow. Oh my God. Come on.
Блин. What?
So that's a kind of an old Russian version. So guys, have you ever seen the Russian version, or at least some glimpse? Come on.
I've seen all of it, of course. I mean, it's classic.
So it's already a classic. Yeah, I mean the adaptation.
Seen, but I can't remember it well.
Okay.
I can tell you more about old Willy Wonka if you would like to listen.
So what exactly is different in this version? It's an old Russian Sherlock Holmes.
It's more calm.
It's more classical.
Yeah.
Can you guys speak up because it's really hard to hear you? Lara,
Yeah.
you said something, Lara?
Yeah,
Lara?
I said that it's more classical.
Ah, okay. Okay.
It's more close to the original.
Yeah, it's actually based on the book. It's like the stories from the book, yeah.
Yeah.
it's really based on the book. It's like letter to letter, and well, I remember I watched it like long ago, but it was really very nice because I literally read the book and then I watched the movie, the Soviet movie, and it was really like I just saw the characters from the book on the screen, and it was like very, very cool. So I really like it, and it's one of the way of not reading Conan Doyle and just watching Conan Doyle.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I did. I only read
I like the
Dog of
atmosphere.
Baskerville after that, and I also remembered Livanov's version because I haven't watched. Well, there was no Robert Jr. then or Benedict's. It was like.
Yeah, so watched it after reading it.
So, guys, if you before learning that was a Russian version, how did you picture your Sherlock? Like when you have Sherlock Holmes in your head, who do you picture? Actually, I picture
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, I picture Benedict.
Honestly, same. I can't think of anyone else.
So Veronica is Livanov, right?
Which I read.
You, Lera, speak up.
Yeah, I picture my first old book that I read about Sherlock. So firstly, I picture a book and then a film.
Okay, yeah, so you read a book first, it made an impression on you, and now you picture something different, yeah, what you pictured while reading the book. So, okay, guys, can you just join in the conversation? You can say whatever you want to say, any ideas that you have. Okay, so we've spoken about how different Sherlocks are. Pardon? You're welcome.
I haven't watched any of them until the end. So in my head it's from anime.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Patriotism, Moriarty. But the famous is Benedict, the more famous.
Okay, yeah, the most famous is in your head.
The most famous, yes.
So, anybody else? Okay, tired, understand. Okay, so but what's in the book? So I decided to copy a passage from the book. In the book, A Study in Scarlet, which in new version in BBC was A Study in Pink. Watson is introduced to Holmes in St. Bartholomew's Hospital, where the passage from the book is here. Okay, guys, who would like to read? Probably not me. Okay, you can read. So everybody's shy. Okay, so near the further end.
Oh, I have to read the line?
No, I don't know. It's just, you could, why not? A low arched passage branched away from it and led to the chemical laboratory. This was a lofty chamber, lined and littered with countless bottles. Broad, low tables were scattered about, which bristled with retorts, test tubes, and little Bunsen lamps, with their blue flickering flames. There was only one student in the room, and you know of whom I speak, who was bending over a distant table, absorbed in his work. At the sound of our steps, he glanced round and sprang to his feet in a cry of pleasure. "I found it, I found it," he shouted to my companion, running towards us with a test tube in his hand. "I have found a reagent which is precipitated by hemoglobin." I don't know how to read that. Okay, and by nothing else. Had he discovered the gold mine, greater delight could not have shone upon his features. And that was the first encounter with Dr. Watson by Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Okay, do you remember the BBC version?
Yeah, Watson needed a roommate, if I'm not wrong. So a friend in common decided to have them meet, to introduce them. And it was at the same hospital, I think, because Sherlock used to have his experiments there, and he was working with the dead body.
Yeah, he was actually cropping it.
Yeah, I don't remember how to say it, but he was
hitting the body with a
yeah.
special I don't know, cropping.
Yeah, I really don't know how to say it in English.
That's a kind of a stick, yeah. That
stick with a cord, and he was eating him, and yeah, Sherlock was all calm doing his thing, and Watson was kind of shocked in seeing him like that.
Yeah, and actually there was a
it's not common
story. Yeah, so which is here in a book, we can see a bright student, Dr. Watson, and Mr. Sherlock Holmes is looking at him, where in the new version, Sherlock is making some experiments, right? And he's doing something, and then Watson just shows up, and Sherlock is showing off by saying something, yeah, with his method of deduction about Dr. Watson. Yeah, so it's a little bit different from the book, how they met each other. That's also kind of a new adaptation. Okay, so we will see that scene, and I'm hoping it won't be too slow. It's with subtitles, so you can read, because it's very difficult to understand what he has to say. He's been very fast.
And British.
Okay, sorry, it's slow.
Friend of mine, John Watson. Afghanistan or Iraq? Sorry, was it Afghanistan or Iraq? Afghanistan, sorry, how did you... Molly, coffee, thank you. What happened to the lipstick?
It wasn't working for me.
Really? I thought it was a big improvement, and that's too small now.
Okay.
How do you feel about the violin? Sorry, what? I play the violin when I'm thinking. Sometimes I don't talk for days on. And would that bother you? Potential flatmates should know the worst about each other. You told them about me? Not a word. Then who said anything about flatmates? I did. Told Mike this morning that I must be a difficult man to find a flatmate for. Now here he is, just after lunch with an old friend, clearly just home from military service in Afghanistan. Wasn't no difficult leap. How did you know about Afghanistan? Got my eye on a nice little place in central London. Together we ought to be able to afford it. We'll meet there tomorrow evening, 7 o'clock. Sorry, got a dash. I think I left my riding crop in the mortuary.
That's the riding crop.
Is that it? Is that what? We only just met, and we're going to go look at a flat. Bobby? We don't know a thing about each other. I don't know where we're meeting. I don't even know your name. I know you're an army doctor and you've been invalided home from Afghanistan. I know you've got a brother who's worried about you, but you won't go to him for help because you don't approve of him, possibly because he's an alcoholic, more likely because he recently walked out on his wife, and I know that your therapist thinks you're limp psychosomatic, quite correctly, I'm afraid. It's enough to be good, don't you think? The name's Sherlock Holmes and the address is 221B Baker Street. Afternoon.
So isn't he a show off here?
Of course he is.
Yeah, but in the book, there was a different picture of him. Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't understand why Watson still went to live with Sherlock after this. I would have been so frightened. I would never have said yes.
He interested him as a person.
And because his limb was psychosomatic, probably that was the reason why Watson would like to go on an adventure, if you know what I mean. Yeah, and probably that was the reason, the main reason. I don't know, actually. Yeah, it's just, I just picture Dr. Watson as the Hobbit. In my head, it mixes up in a very intrinsic way. Okay, good. So I have some other options for you to think on. I'm sorry, I will have to...
Friend of mine, John Watson.
Come on. Okay. So now, guys, a question is, how does Sherlock behave So let's find some words. With that riding crop, how does he behave? Come on, you have some references on the screen. Okay, guys, he's an outrage, right? In any version, he is an outrage. What else? What are some of the words you can use to describe his behavior?
I'd say he's arrogant and looking down on people. He doesn't care what people think of his behavior because his main goal is to find the truth. That's his goal. Like, and whatever means he uses, he doesn't care what people think if they're right or not, because his path is to find the truth.
Yeah, in the new version, he even uses, instead of smoking, he uses nicotine plasters. Yeah, like here. In an old version, he smokes too much. Yeah, and also he lies to everyone and he tricks them into thinking that he has died already, for example, yeah, when he tricks Moriarty and Dr. Watson as well, that he died. Yeah, you remember. And also
it is a trick, but Conan Doyle really wanted Sherlock Holmes to die.
Yeah. Actually, can you tell us a little bit about it? Who knows the story, the true story behind writing Sherlock Holmes? You know the true story how Conan Doyle wrote this?
Yes.
I think.
What did he want to do actually? Why did he kill Sherlock?
He was tired of Sherlock Holmes popular. He thought, I mean, Conan Doyle, he wanted to be popular with his
other works, like the Lost.
Yes, other works, and not only Sherlock Holmes. And he didn't want the Sherlock Holmes be his most popular.
But Sherlock really caught on, right? Another probably thing to think about: how did he treat Molly? Molly wasn't in the original version.
And she actually didn't supposed to be such a big character in the series, because it was just a very, very small part for her, but she was so natural there, and they really decided to leave her, and they wrote some scenes for her, and actually she becomes one of the crucial characters, well, at least in Reichenbach Falls, and after all, so that's really a nice story, I think.
I don't remember her at all.
Really?
Okay.
Really? Wow.
I remember Sherlock, Watson, Moriarty, the Iran, the love of Sherlock. I don't remember this girl. Who did she play?
Sherlock was her crush, and she actually had a crush on him, and she loved him so much that she would please every need of him, like lipstick, no lipstick, coffee, no coffee. And she asks him to have coffee, he asked her to bring some coffee. So that was nice. So he's kind of behaving really badly towards her. Yeah. So
and actually she was the only person who still believed in him when there was this mess with Moriarty and so on. So actually this is really kind of cool, I think, her relationship with Sherlock.
Okay. So, and the kind of why he did so, I remember, Nadine told me when we were trying to build up a story for today's conference. Yeah, so why he behaved like that? Why did he do such stuff? Yeah, Sherlock wasn't so much different from the original Sherlock in Conan Doyle, but he was kind of behaving in a different way. Yeah, and he was kind of already calling himself words. So now for you guys to guess, how did Sherlock Holmes call himself? Is it a clinically healthy deduction nerd, or a forensic expert, or a sociopath, or an Asperger's? So I'm going to check.
I know that others called
The first one.
But so I think he didn't call himself a sociopath.
You think? Okay, any more any more ideas? Any other ideas?
Maybe it's Asperger's.
I found it. Asperger. Yeah, it's actually not.
It's a very serious disease, actually, as far as I remember. It's really very, very, very hard to live with it. I mean, it's not like lethal, but it's very difficult to act in society with it.
Asperger.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, because I remember we had a group of kids with this disease in museum, and it was really very hard to communicate with them, but they were really cool because they can see actually everything, really everything.
Yeah, so here I put a little bit of a presentation on Asperger. Yeah, and actually Sherlock Holmes called himself, who remembers, guys? Do you remember?
I think he was a sociopath, but I don't remember him calling himself that.
Yeah, he said high functioning sociopath. Yeah, so high functioning sociopaths, that's actually a quotation. Doyle definitely wasn't portraying sociopath. That's actually Nadine's idea. I just decided to put it here because it's quite complicated and complex for you to understand. Again and again, Holmes is depicted with a strong moral code and sympathy for the victims of the misdeeds he investigates. Doyle was merely portraying someone whose intellect was the most prominent feature of his personality. Yeah, but why the BBC Sherlock is called so? In what way has he changed? Why is it a high functional sociopath? What is a sociopath? Any idea?
Let's ask where does the term come from?
Yeah.
In which field?
The sociopath is a person without empathy to people. How
Actually, who studies sociopaths? Which field studies this?
Oh,
it's now really trendy. Like I have a therapist, a shrink. In other words, a psychologist, right? So do you think Doyle had a therapist, or did psychology exist at all?
It did exist, but people didn't go to therapy like every week. I mean, the psychoanalyst wasn't even in operation at that time.
Yeah. That's what actually was meant by sociopath. Doyle didn't know the word, probably. Yeah, but in the new version, what happened?
There was no word then. Yeah, he actually was portraying a sociopath, but there was no such words. And what is postmodern in the new series, in the new TV show, is that they're kind of taking the character of Sherlock. I think there's going to be a slide, so I'm not going to spoil it. So he's talking of this field because all of us already know about psychology, and well, more or less educated adults, they know such words as sociopath and other different psychological disease which were not known at that time, and we could not depict a person like that in Victorian age or times of Sherlock and so on.
Yeah. That's it. That's the postmodern about Sherlock as well. Okay. So, and probably the last but one, if the new series is about postmodernism, what happens to the character in the new series? Is it reconstruction? Is it subconstruction? Is it restoration? Or is it deconstruction? That's a complex one, I know. Yeah. Just think about it. So
I don't think.
Think about modernism and postmodernism and metamodernism, which is what?
Okay, so I suggest that we just explain. Yeah, so it's the form has changed. Yeah, but the essence is the same. So what happened? Will you please, Nadine or anybody else?
Okay. As I've said like a slide ago, I almost ruined the question because I forgot about the slide. So it is of course deconstruction, because if in the original series or movies about Sherlock, they're just depicting the book more or less. They have different plots and scenarios, but this is mostly depiction, the realism of the character and so on. While in the new series, they try to look inside the character of Sherlock more deeply from the modern perspective, trying to find the further flow of the possible plots that could happen to him, the stories which might occur, the thoughts that he might think further in the modern world using modern means of thought and modern gadgets and all that stuff. But it's actually in all the characters, not only Sherlock himself, but in Watson's behavior, in all of his other, I don't know, Mrs. Hudson, this Marion, and other people. They are deconstructing them to see how they might act in future as a character. And this is why it's a postmodern thing.
Yeah, what we talked about during preparation is that the form has changed, but the outside, the essence, the inside, yeah, if you look deeper into his soul, is the same with the Sherlock Holmes. That is what postmodern Sherlock is about. Yeah, actually, that was an educational part of the story, yeah, behind this conference. And I will share the presentation with you. Yeah, so now you can share some of your insights or some of your ideas, yeah, in a further conversation. And then I will explain the topic for the next one, for the February, and probably say goodbye. Okay, some of the insights, guys. So, is there anything new that you can say and you can learn?
As a conclusion?
No, is there anything new you have learned today, guys, to everybody else? I know the topic is perplexed and complex, but probably there's something, some little information that you know now that you didn't before.
I think, я забыла слово, как это называется?
Yeah, say it.
Tell us in Russian and we'll translate. What?
Remake. Как мы это
Remake
называли?
is an English word. It's remake. Yeah. Yeah.
I think these remakes don't ruin the classic if people remember this classic, and it is a good remake if it is a good remake when it can make people to want to learn the classic.
Yeah, that's a nice one. That's a nice one. Like with the Crime and Punishment, right? Yeah. Actually, it becomes less boring. It becomes more of a new trendy one, which is in fashion and you want to watch it. Okay.
I realized that I must watch Sherlock Holmes.
Okay.
Of course, you have to.
All of them.
It's a modern classic already.
All series.
All of them, and
Benedict,
Russian, and
yes,
Benedict.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Anyway, guys, I am going to prepare a big letter for you today with all of the presentations and all of the videos and materials, and even with the manga. And for the next time, I would like to say some of the words for the next topic. We are going to answer the question, yeah, who remembers? Will we stop quoting the past? And for the next one, I won't prepare like a certain presentation. it will be a panel discussion where you all have to prepare something. Yeah, there could be just several slides on how you interpret the topic. Yeah, so, and the main incentive is for you to share your ideas. You can tell us about how your art project is going, and you can tell us about your idea of the question, of the answer to the question. Will we stop quoting the past? You can take any kind of the material, and you can share any of the ideas on the question. Yeah, so, and we are waiting for your presentation. I might also share your presentations on my screen for you not to have those technical problems. And still, you are welcome. And please do write if you have any difficulty. And I'm sorry, it's already 10 o'clock in Russia, and I mostly have slips of the tongue. Okay,
Yes.
thank you very much. You've been great today, and we had a really nice discussion in the first part, and a really nice educational presentation in the second part, where you all have to think about something. Yeah, so any kind of the what's that called? The feedback that you want to share now, you're welcome.
Thank you.
That's the feedback. Okay, so if you have anything to say, you're welcome. And if you're not, I am setting you free, and we are waiting for you next time on the St. Valentine's Day, 14th of February. Yeah, this time. And prepare some of the slides, probably 3-4 slides, how you interpret the question. Will we stop quoting the past? And also I will share, wait for my materials. I will share some of them. Okay.
Can I say a couple words?
Yeah.
I would really love to encourage, well, I mean, we have like a group of very active people from different universities and from our school too, but there are some people that I think haven't spoken in any of the conferences, and I really encourage them to try, and next time when is our actually presentations from you guys, make it like one slide, one small idea, which is yours, but please show us your face and try to make us remember you, because I'm trying to actually even write now the names of the teachers and students who is from which school, trying to get used to you. And I've seen already some active people. I would really love to hear at least one phrase from each of you, one small idea. I'm sure you can do that because our theme is so vast and you can put almost anything in there, especially about quoting. So please be active and try to use this collaboration, yeah, how we call it, as much as you can to get some use from it for you, for yourself.
Yeah, and also the teachers, you're welcome to say something like on my methods or whatever we are using. Probably there's some feedback on how we are doing it, because we are doing it like blindfolded, yeah, and we also want to hear some advice from, I mean, method-wise, probably class-wise, conference-wise. Yeah, and it's a panel discussion, let's not forget it. We have to discuss stuff, and we are doing that, and I think it's kind of effective. Yeah, so we're getting used to it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
to you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Great job.
Teachers.